In this episode, the Cooper's Couch finds itself at Holbrook in southern New South Wales, at a little slice of heaven that Andy Watson and his family have created over the past 20 years. Andy, thanks for having us.
No worries.
Tell us a little bit about your operation here at Forest Vale.
So here at Forest Vale, we're 3,000 acres. We run 800 spring calving cows. They're Angus and Hereford cross, black baldies we call them. We're predominantly a spring calving herd, EU accredited, and we supply all the steers to the feedlots, mainly JBS, and retain most of our heifers with the odd Chinese export heifer happening.
Now, I know you're a bit of a land care geek, and
Yep.
you've put an enormous amount of energy and enthusiasm into the stewardship of the land here because you think
That's number one. Like the cattle, it's the number one, and we've done, I think, 70,000 trees in 10 years.
Now, the other building block to a successful livestock business obviously is happy and healthy animals, and you put a lot of thought into that.
That's number one. That's number one. If they're stress-free and if they're moving forward every day, happy to boot. You just got to make sure that everything's right.
So you take the same kind of strategic approach to their health and well-being as you do to your land?
Yes, exactly the same. Exactly the same. And you've got to be at the cutting edge. You've got to use all avenues of technologies to make sure that their welfare and their health is 100%.
Talk us through your experience with Rotavec Corona.
Okay, Corona. So scours, my other nemesis. Go back 15 years ago, we would treat 100 calves in a season for scours. We'd lose 10 to 15. We've always had the bug. The bug's always there. It's a combination of different bugs. We initially used the first scour vaccine that Cooper's brought out that it knocked out everything. Recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've gone Corona, and it's fixed our scour problem 98%.
And it's really severe diarrhea in calves.
Oh, yeah, and they die of dehydration. It's an ugly one, and it often takes out, it's in heifers, and so you're looking at your best genetics, and so we always look for our calving heifers. It's that group that you've got to watch. So, but we give that, I think it's 6 weeks pre-calving to the cows. It's one of several vaccines we give them pre-calving, and we don't even look for scours now. It's just a one-off.
So, Andy, what would you say to people who are sort of kind of thinking about whether they should use Rotavec Corona as well?
I would if you've got a scour problem, it's a no-brainer, you use it. If you haven't got a scour problem, you're probably lucky, you can get away with it. But if you introduce any cattle with it, it'll go right through the whole herd, and then you could run, if you're an absentee owner, you could go away and come back and lose 90% of your calves. It's a shocker. So I think, it's a preventative action that fixes it.
Thank you very much for having us here at Holbrook. This is a fantastic day. We could spend all day here on the couch.
We could.
But we can't. We have to move on because there are other stories to tell, Andy. And we'll catch up with you next time on the Cooper's Couch.